inside the magic circle. And you all are inside the last one in. Now, all of you have been to the last one in. Here is who is here. Norbert. Sorry, not Norbert. Gloopert. Glorpert? Glorpert.
Gloopert, yeah.
Gloopert. Praderi.
Glorpert.
And Minakan. Your current selection of hirelings. The kobolds have elected to remain behind for this one, as they have found a lead on a way home and have decided to try and investigate that rather than delve back into the death hole. As now that they have escaped it once, the prospect of making it back home alive is starting to seem pretty tempting. And in the last one in, we need weirder music than this, but we still need the tavern ambience. Now, as you all remember, the last one in is a strange place, right on the border of, the deep darkness below, and touching just barely on the surface world above, where you can find the exquisite and inexplicable hospitality of the Cockroach Man, by name of Uravok. There are other creatures here. A clot of goblins in the corner, playing with knives, rapidly running out of fingers as they play the 5-finger dare game. A hulking fungoid creature piled up in one corner. And a scrawny, multi-legged thing with big, bulbous eyes eyeing you from across the way, clutching to his chest a scrap of parchment, glancing back and forth as it from you to the parchment as it contemplates some course of action. Now, what, if anything, did you procure on the surface world before you came down here for your expedition to the northwest down the gut?
Just rations. Rations and arrows.
Mm-hmm.
Yep, rations here as well. I'm just relying off the goods we purchased and didn't use before.
You intended to hire on some assistants, do I remember correctly?
I did not announce that in roleplay, so I didn't. I did, but I'm sorry. Go ahead.
I assumed so. Well, how many do we have? We have 3.
The current
we have 4 players, and sorry, I interrupted you.
The current retainers are Naum, Frongog, Aelin, Yoanin, Tasling, and more, which is
nice.
So you have one healer, but he's not a strong one.
My 4th follower came back, correct?
Yes, that's right. I gotta move him back. I gotta move him back into the retainer listing.
I did mention that I purchased rations. I did not ask for arrows, so I would ask Uravok if there are arrows here, and if there's not, that's fine.
Uravok does have arrows, fine arrows. They're fletched in peacock feather. Oh. They cost twice normal.
Okay, I buy an entire, whatever a whole bunch of them are called.
Quiverful. And I think it's 20. While Gloopert is handling the finances and procuring himself some munitions, Praderi is accosted by that multi-legged creature with the bulbous eyes, the one scrapping the clutch of fabric to itself.
Are you the ones from the surface?
Is it so apparent?
I have a message for you. One seeks you, has interest in you.
Great.
Does this one have a name that you can speak openly here?
Charlatan.
Was
What
that?
was that? Yeah, what was that?
Charlatan.
Trilotan.
It sounds like a language you're not familiar with. But they wish
Well,
to.
break out the message.
They say they wish to meet with you to change the surface world to a green place. They are hiding where the mushrooms once laid, to the southeast. Take the message.
Perderi looks
Right,
at
you can't actually take
Huck
it. What
and
am I
the
doing here?
others. Yeah, well, he looks at
For just a second, I
Menachem
forgot that
and-
this was video chat, and I was waiting for you to actually physically take the paper from my hand.
Did you
What
say?
if we
Did you say southeast? Sorry, I just want to make sure. Southeast.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes. They're asking you to divert from your path.
What do you?
All right, let's look at the message directly.
Yeah.
Well, I'm putting tests on the spot here because I'm being improvisational. But this is a
Okay.
message to the effect of, I'm interested in meeting with you because I have been in this part of the world before, and always it has been a blighted pit. But I returned recently and discovered that the surface world here is no longer quite so mired. I have done inquiries and learned that there are men who quest against the world below, and I want to meet them because I believe we have common interests.
Interesting. Well, hope it doesn't take us too far out of our way.
It's gonna take us 3 days. But I mean, I vote to do it. I'm down.
3 days. Wait, hang on a second. How fast does this thing think you move? Oh, yeah.
Where's the map?
Yeah, that works out. Oh, yeah. I checked the math. That looks correct.
All right.
Well, I could have picked a better spot, but I didn't realize you'd be way underground.
Menachem,
Okay, I'm not here.
I want to throw a thing out there that I would like to do, and if nobody likes this, that's okay. But I would be interested in, first of all, seeing if I could hire this messenger and pay him to join us as my hireling. I'll try to do that with him. And second of all, to talk to Urvok and ask if anybody's going to stop by shortly that might be willing to adventure with us.
Okay. The weird little critter has 3 legs. It's sort of spindly, has big bulbous eyes like a toad, and kind of a narrow mouth. And he thinks that sounds like a hoot. He will work with you for a modest fee for a quarter share and 3 gold a day.
Is everybody okay with me having this strange tripodal frog insect man? I pay him.
Sure.
I pay him 5 gold a day, which is going to be 15 gold. Be 20
Extra
gold.
body's always useful.
And I also promise him a quarter a share on top of that.
He seems quite pleased. His name is Galokdil, which I will spell.
Oh. Well, Glorpert has intelligence 10, so he can probably know some of his letters. So. Are you putting in chat?
Yeah, let's hit the road.
Yep.
All right.
What's
Off you
his
go.
stats real fast, just so I can... I assume you want me to do that.
AJ, your job is you're going to play Galukdil. Galukdil's jobs actually. Galukdil has no particular capabilities. He can see in the dark. He is a alien creature. His motives are inquisitorial, and his vibe is unsettling.
Love it. I can't play him. I want to play him.
Okay, fine. You can play him. You can be Galuk.
I want him.
Be
He's
careful about
mine.
just be careful about crossing your eyes, or they'll stick that way.
It's true.
That didn't work. I tried that so much.
I was just saying. Just think of this guy as a weird little man, and you won't be wrong. You won't be far wrong.
So, is this going to be wilderness travel? 3 days of wilderness travel to get there, or?
Well, it's through the gut, which is effectively a very long subway tunnel. In practice, the road is in mostly good repair. Actually, hang on. Let me refresh us all on what the gut is. The gut is a underground highway system connecting disparate parts.
Sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt you there.
All right, is a underground highway system of sorts connecting disparate parts of the terrain around Rappan Athuk by very long and winding underground corridors, which are, for the most part, homogeneous lengths of 20 to 30 feet long. Sorry, 20 to 30 foot wide hallways with 50 to 60 foot? With 50 to 60 foot vaulted ceilings. Many of you have passed down it many a time before, though I don't think Monacan has. This is probably a novel experience for him. Monacan feels like you've entered into a sort of fairyland where where very strange things are happening, and everyone around you seems to think they're perfectly normal. It's normal that you walk 10 miles, 20 miles down a completely featureless, lightless tunnel in the earth with well-laid flagstone beneath you, and arrive with no preamble at an inn staffed by a gigantic bug man who has a completely unexplained and seemingly endless source of hospitality available to him.
Now I remember why I stay above.
Yes, now you do. So, if you departed for here on the 3rd, so you just recently arrived at the last one in. You are continuing your passage. And you have decided to divert to the southeast. Do I understand correctly?
Well, I mean, I'd like to meet with this. I mean, I'd still like to go back to do what we were gonna do at some point. So
You should
yes,
have time.
Yeah, let's make best speed.
Okay. Now you travel, but down here, the travel is not quite as convenient as far up above, as the way is a bit winding. So you're not sure how far it is you travel a day. It's difficult to measure. But you know it will take, based on your past experience, it will take you about a day and a half to reach the fungus garden that has been spoken of. So you begin your journey. Let's see how that goes. Ooh. After you depart the what's the thing I'm looking for? Let me swap out backgrounds here actually. I should get to an appropriate. You depart the last one in, and you take the easterly route, diverting from your expected and intended path. Down that road you go, without any interruption, until for all night. And then, finally, you reach the end of your endurance, and you settle in to camp along the gut for the night. There is no wayside to pass upon. Down here, you can only rest and hope that you are not accosted in the night by another traveler, because they have no choice but to pass by you, in a way, as you sleep. And indeed, as you rest, that very night, you hear the steady cantering of hooves upon the flagstone. You're woken from your sleep by a pair of undead figures, cloaked in rotting and tattered rags, atop horses that have decayed almost to nothing, mere bones held together by scraps of sinew. They ride past you, paying you no heed at all, at a steady trot. Do you impose your way into their passage as they wake you from your sleep? Or
Well, Monacan's in charge and Bloombad's not here, so no.
Okay. They walk right past you. They never pay you any mind.
Unless I hear the jingle of coin coming from them as they pass. Is there anything like that? Like the clink of any glint of good steel or the jingle of coin?
That's a compelling question. You do
I mean,
hear.
if they're nothing but skin and bones, it shouldn't be that hard to hear.
That's true. You do hear a clink of coin on their hip, or something. Perhaps it's a scrap of mail. Perhaps it's a scrap of roll. Give me a roll. Hear sounds to suss out exactly what it is you're hearing. Whoop. You're not sure. You're not sure. Some sort of metallic jangling. Do you wish to start a fight with these creatures over it?
There's two of them, you say?
Two of them.
Mhm.
Atop rotting horses. Cloaked figure.
I'll whisper quickly as they pass, but before they get out of bow shot. What do y'all think? You want to try for it?
Do these beings seem like undead or monstrous? Or oh yeah, then like Glorpert is down.
Yeah. Seems a blight on the land.
Yeah. Yeah. A blight. Let's do it.
All right, one sec.
Convergent incentive.
Sec. Da-da.
Oh, and the wrong account.
Uh-oh.
That should be okay.
Oh yeah, it says you're observing.
Yeah, maybe I can change this real fast. But the game, go on, please. I'm sorry, it shouldn't affect
No
me.
worries.
So I suppose if they pay us no mind, the idea would be to try to get a surprise round on them if we can.
It's not a bad thought.
Let's array ourselves in formation beforehand. Real quick, everybody form up and then shooty shoot.
Yep.
One moment.
Do I need to roll something?
Yes. What is the appropriate roll here? Why is this thing not appearing? How did you wind up in the map token?
I know this struggle well.
All right. We'll keep this brief. Give me a 1d6 to see if you can surprise them. Low is good.
Not low.
You do win initiative, but they are not. You do. I'm going to give you initiative on the first round automatically, but you were not surprised.
Okay. Well, and Menaken will fire twice. Or I suppose declare spells. We've got Aelin. Do we have any cleric amongst us?
I have a single cleric, but he, as typical, has detect evil prepared, not to cure wounds.
No, but he can turn undead.
True. I have not done that before.
Yeah. No time like the present.
Sure.
If they're on horses, we don't want to turn them, do we?
Good point.
Not if you intend to rob them.
Yeah, good point. Well, if things go badly, get ready with the turn undead.
Will do. He's staying in the second rank anyways, so.
Alrighty. Who is casting a spell? Is more Aelin casting a spell?
Do we want a light?
No. They're undead. I don't see it. I don't think they have, like, what is it? Optic nerves?
Fair. Then just
But
a mirror image.
Alright.
Okay.
Aelin's gonna do magic missile.
Alrighty.
I don't know who are Moore and Yoan, Yaganin.
Owenin?
Owen.
Those are Praeries.
Yeah.
Are they
Oh, and I
fighters?
need to,
No, Moore and Owenin are my magic user and cleric.
Oh, okay.
just block them.
Pasling
I'll
and
put her back.
Nisel are fighters.
Okay. Alright, Gnome and Frangag, if I
I think
remember
we're
correctly, are polearm guys. What is Pasling?
Pasling, I think, has a polearm, but she also has a shield.
Okay.
Yeah, she's got a warhammer and a shield that she uses. Where Nisel is he has a shield and a spear,
Okay.
so he should probably actually be second rank.
Alright. Then Pasling should go out in front. And
I would like to be in the second rank, but I can be in the front. I do have the armor class and hit points to do it.
are you a spear wielding or?
I am. That's why I can do it from the second rank. But if there's
Please, then.
if you need somebody up front, I can do it. I got armor class 14, so I can handle it.
That's not great.
Is there anybody that's higher? I don't have any other hirelings. Somebody else will have to tell me.
Pasling seems to be higher.
Pasling's got
Broderi-
play. Yeah, I'm in the front.
It looks like I'm
Yeah.
gonna have to do it, so I'll just do it.
Nice. Yeah. Okay.
Okay.
Missiles.
Missiles first. Armor class is 15.
Hold on.
I miss.
Yeah, Menaken misses too.
That's a hit with a sling for 2. Nisel's going to fire a short bow. Verify, Nisel does not have a short bow. Never mind. Nisel is going to throw a spear.
Okay. At this range, I think you may have a range penalty. But roll first. All else in question for all else aside, roll first, and we'll see if you roll silly high or silly low. If we roll into a place
Nope.
where it's ambiguous.
That's a miss.
See? We didn't have to look up anything. Saved all kinds of time.
And do we just want to go full volley, or do we want to keep some melee open?
I think we're gonna need all spears and polearms with dudes on horseback. I don't know what the horses are gonna do.
Okay.
I feel like if they're gonna come towards us, they can ride into a pincushion.
Yep. Okay, then I think that's it for me.
Okay.
There,
No one's going to close to.
we
no
have
one is closed into melee.
we have a second volley as an option.
Oh.
Is that? Did I misunderstand?
I'm
Well,
afraid
you-
you should.
2 arrows, right?
Yeah, you get
I
2
think-
arrows when you fire with arrows.
Oh yeah, no, I already did that.
Do you all want to advance, or do you want to just wait for them?
I mean, we're not. Are we able to cover that distance?
We can, but I intend to just wait. This
Yeah,
game
let's
does not
go.
have
We'll
bracing
wait.
rules, as far as I'm aware. I'm looking at it. I don't see anything about that.
So, yeah.
All right. So I
Alright.
guess that's our missile and movement then.
Alrighty. Okay, so for their movement turn, they will wheel around. From their cloaks, unfurl long flails, linking
No.
the chain, and they ride upon you with a sudden vengeance. One moment. How much damage is a flail again?
Glorpert raises up his thing like a one of those sand people, and then he's like he's like I will earn the dark cape for Kayden's rest.
You know how to make it cool.
Flail is D8.
Thank you.
Ow.
Well, it says two-handed. A heavy mace is D6.
All right, Glorpert, I'm afraid that you are thoroughly dinged for 2 points of damage, as you raise your shield. I'm afraid that the chain whips around your shield and smacks you from an unexpected angle. Though fortunately, your shield prevented it, absorbed a lot of the force. The undead horses as well attempt to attack you with their flailing hooves. Perderi, you are bonked for 3 by the flailing hooves of the horse. And, Gloopert, what is your armor class again?
14.
If it's 14, then a 16 will also hit you. You take another 2 points of damage.
Can you parry for that?
Yes, you can.
Do you have enough dex to parry that?
I don't think so. My dex is 9. I don't think so.
Oh, yeah.
No.
I think it has to be at least 14.
Yeah.
Good question though.
All right. Now, assuming did you all survive that? How many hit points do you have left?
10.
14.
10?
One.
Monokkin has 1 hit point?
No. I think Glorpert has one.
Well, Glorpert's gone. We got replaced with Gloopert. Wait, Gloopert, right. 1 hit point? You've got 1 hit point left.
No, I have 10.
Oh, okay, good.
Yeah, he definitely had like a significant amount because I remember taking 8 damage a couple of fights ago.
All right, cool. In that case, it's your turn for melee attack. You're in hand-to-hand combat with some horrible undead horses, and with some horrible undead guys.
Cool.
Their rotten faces stare at you from beneath bedraggled what's the word I'm looking for? What's the word, Tess? What's the word for the under armor you wear under plate mail or under
Gambeson?
chainmail?
Gambison.
Gambison. Yeah, they're wearing gambison. Old, rotten, tattered gambison, like streaked with mold.
And confirming these are not one-hit die creatures.
They are not one-hit die creatures.
Boo. All right.
They have at least 2.
What level are Naum and Frengag at this point?
Naum is 3. Frongag is also 3.
Okay. That's actually a 4 damage. Perduri hits for 4 damage. I accidentally clicked two-handed instead of one-handed.
Okay.
I'm gonna roll the glaive for Pasling.
Okay. A 15 will hit. That is their armor class. I assume you're attacking the riders rather than the horse.
Yes. Is the horse just a horse, or is it an undead horse?
It is an undead horse.
Okay.
The horses are also zombified.
Okay. Rider's the main threat. So all right, Pasling hits for 6 damage with her halberd.
Naum and Fremgag will both attack the same. Well, let's see. First, Fremgag. This is with
Okay.
a pole arm. That is
My
a
eyes
hit.
are open. Not.
He's at a
right.
+1 to attack if he's level 3. Finally.
True. Okay.
So I believe that's D8 +1.
Let's see it.
7 damage.
All right.
with that guy.
So the Northern Rider is unhorsed and brought low in a flurry of attacks. Glorpert also landed a solid blow. So
Glorpert rolls 18 to hit, armor class 15 for 7 damage.
nice.
Oh, nice.
Nice. And Naum also hits for 3 more damage to that same dude that Glorpert just hit.
Alrighty. The northern one is unhorsed and destroyed, revealing a tattered body, carrying precious little in the way of wealth, but you haven't searched it yet. Mostly it just looks like a carcass hauled out of a barrow and thrown atop a zombie horse. The zombie horse wheels away and sprints off to the west. I can all visibly see that moment where I double check in my mind. West or east?
Do we get any attacks on it as it's fleeing, or?
It is in melee.
You can take the shot if you want, Perderi. Or Paddling. Or all of you. If you're okay, Paddling,
Hey.
Perderi, and Glorpert, go ahead and roll your attacks as it flees. Though be aware, it doesn't have any money, so
It's
has
a
XP.
blight on the land.
I roll 9 to hit armor class, whatever it is.
I'm
Okay.
afraid the horse is not so easily brought low.
So hang on, ignore this next roll. That's I meant to do a one-handed. There we go.
Gotcha,
That's
gotcha.
the other one.
Okay, horse is gone. The horse escapes your attacks of opportunity. So that is the end of the first round of combat. You have slain one of these undead riders and brought low the other. Or sorry, and severely injured the other. Now we will roll initiative. Manakin, give me a 1d6, or perhaps I'll roll a 1 and it will be moot. All right, he goes first. He is going to go down swinging, as the case may be. And he's going to cream Glorpert for another 3 points of damage. Glorpert's brow is creased by the pass of an ancient, rusty, jagged chunk of metal at the end of a stolid chain. You're going to want to get that looked at.
Oh, and then we'll prep a spell of healing tomorrow.
Can Minakin get behind him?
Yes. Well, roll me a move silently check. If you can do that without any difficulty.
I don't think
Actually,
he
a
has to
larger
get
problem.
behind him, though. All he has to do,
Yeah.
it
I
says,
just
is...
want to get behind him. I don't want to
Oh
sneak
yeah,
behind him.
yeah. You can just flank him. Go ahead and do it.
I don't even think you
Beware,
have
though,
to.
to stand behind a horse can be dangerous.
Yes.
Let's see your to hit, my man.
Oh no, I'm wrong. You do have to be behind.
Yeah.
One or the other.
To hit is a 20
All right.
Um,
You
with a bastard sword.
tell us how it happens.
Well, it happens quickly and easily, as always. I'll just run him straight through his body, like in an upward angle, since he's on a horse, and it should clear most of the important spots. Definitely
Well,
hits the gizzard.
I think
well,
that this thing was getting ready to just end Glorpert. He's like down on his knees, and then Monacan like swings around and does this, and Glorpert gets up, and wipes the blood from his eyes, and like comes over to Monacan and says, "I've heard about you. You're one of the heroes. You're Monacan."
Hey, watch out for the horse.
Oh, is the horse still there?
the horse is still there. Trying to decide if it should just take a shot at Glorpert with its hooves. And I'm going to say that yes, it should, because that's too funny not to.
I agree.
I hope that's not what fucking does it.
I hope so.
Part of me hope it does.
I hope it just does it right in my head.
Nah, an 11 won't make it through your armor, though it probably alarms you. The horse books it. So here is, you have
Then I can
brought
take
low.
another shot.
You have brought low. Yeah, go ahead and take the your additional shots.
It's probably a miss.
Ow.
Dang.
Dang, these
Yeah.
horses.
These horses are fast, man. They got places to be.
I guess so.
He pushes me out of the way as the horse almost kicks me in the head, and then I come back again.
Saving you again.
And I say, "You're one of the Hounds of the Pine, one of the great heroes that led the people out of the forest."
That's right. That's right.
I turn back to everyone else. "It's men like this that guide us to the light."
You hear that? So do what I say.
"Yes,
I know what I'm doing.
my lord. For Kayden's rest!" And I like scream it.
All right, calm down. Calm down. There's a big echo in here.
All right. So you search the bodies, and you find a few things of interest. First, you find symbols hanging from their necks of the same order that you encountered when you met Narga Chapin. The same holy symbol, a sort of broken, malformed bird. Little sigils hanging at the end of twine. Second, they do have money. Not a whole lot, but some.
Hey.
Each one has... Between the two of them, you find a total of...
2 copper.
No, 14 gold pieces.
Oh.
Money's quite deflated down here. And of course, there are also...
Didn't have before.
And there are also, of course, these large, rusty maces. The corpses themselves appear to be mere zombies, or mere animated corpses with no special supernatural powers.
You guys want to take 2 each and then give 1 to each of our followers?
20?
Yeah, out of 14 divided by 7.
Yes.
I mean,
Yeah.
we'll work that out back in town. No need to be hasty.
The next day, after getting back on the order. Oh, the one other important thing. No, never mind. That is in fact everything.
I take their holy symbols.
Okay.
Oh, well,
have-
yeah.
You have the
Okay.
holy symbols. Are you just gonna leave the corpses here? I mean, there's not
What-
really a whole lot else you can do.
I don't know what.
Put them on the
You see-
pyre for the night.
you mentioned robes. What state are these robes?
Probably destroyed.
Very bad. These robes were in terrible shape before they were brought to bear in hand-to-hand combat, and
Okay.
now they are in terrible shape still. One of them
Okay.
has a lot of big spear holes in it.
Well, let's move on.
The next day, you make it to a familiar place. One second. Where's the good stuff?
While you're doing
There we
that,
are.
Owen will cast a healing spell on
Corporate.
So
Glorpert.
1d6. So that's 1d6 plus 1 hit points to Glorpert, plus another for a night's sleep.
You got 2.
Okay. Awesome.
Backdrop.
Doing
Here
great.
we are.
I take some rags and I put it around the part where my head where it got scarred.
Nice.
I'm gonna draw a scar on his face now.
Hell yeah.
Let's wait till he gains 5 levels. What he ends up looking like. Probably mutations. It's great.
You stride forth to the fungal gardens that await you far to the southeast and arrive roughly what you think might be noon the next day. No sight of the sun above, no way to be certain. This room has its usual odd shape. Let me see if I can find a copy of it somewhere. Yeah, here we are. Token layer. So, there, and then there. Then there. Wait, no. I got that guy over here. He's in the cavern encounter. You guys go away. Copy you guys. There we are. Return once again to the strange fungal cavern from long ago. There, actually, I'm gonna be right back. I'm gonna brief someone on something. So give me 3 minutes.
Trying to build out attacks for all my individual followers because they're so diverse now that it's getting hard to keep track of them.
What's that again?
I'm just making attacks for all my followers right now.
Nice.
So are you gonna add every major injury you can add a scar?
Yeah.
Dig it.
Yeah. My goal, I have the original drawing. My goal over time is for him to become this sword and sorcery monstrosity. This is him, 19. And if we could play for a year of gameplay, eventually this thing will turn into horrible sword and sorcery. Maybe he'll be like that guy from Hawk the Slayer that just has half of a plate helm that covers the eye that's missing or something. We'll see. Or maybe he'll just die in the next encounter. Yep, you got it. I've been looking for that meme also. That's what I've been... Actually, I'm looking for the other half of it, which is mean. But yes, that is Glorpert's Arc of Destiny that I would long for. I love how the little guy. It really just is like a roguelike because I love how the little guy, like he's got these titles like, Aegis of the Hinterlands, Shield of the Night of Clouds of the 13th Age. And then he's got, and also my servant is the Quasic Scratch. That's exactly right.
I don't know what I missed, but it sounds like I missed something really good.
I lost my eye to a rat.
Yeah, that's pretty.
I was just
Glorper.
copy pasting the default like
Straight
template
up.
from Lives of Heroes.
All right, you go forth, and Tess, give us a little clue as to what we see.
Well, you're entering this fungal garden, which is lit by a flickering lantern, over which hunches a sort of sinusoidal shape that vaguely glances in your direction and resolves itself into a shadowy shape of a man who is dressed in a sort of a jaunty cloak of earth colors and has a sort of like tousled, feathery sort of hair, sort of like a voluminous sort of hair that resolves itself into like wing shapes around the side, and he just kind of like gives you a little wave. He looks pretty out of place, honestly. What do I
Sinusoidal?
think about this?
What does that mean?
I had to look that up.
Yeah, I don't know. Oh, like a sine wave. Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah.
I just like had to quickly Google it. I'm like, that's a good vocab word.
Oh, yeah.
Thank you.
Golokdil like sort of tugs at Glorpert's sleeve and points to him in a monocle and says, "Him. That is the guy."
So,
Yes, hello. That was who I sent to send a message. It wasn't a hello again. Glad that you brought him with. And you must be the heroes from above. Is that correct?
yeah, that's us.
I thought that worked out a lot smoother than I thought. It's a little concerned I might have just been kind of shanghaied and left here, so to speak.
Glorpert, like, he's like, turns to Magnus and like the heroes. I'm sorry, the what do we call them? Gosh dang it. I'd already kind
They
of
cloak
the Hounds of the
people,
Pine. Yes.
Yeah.
And it's like, how do we know that we can trust him? How do we know? Is
You
he
can't. That's
one
how
of those?
trust works.
He's talking. What
I am
do we
talking.
do? What do we do?
Well, you talk back. That's one thing you could do. It's one option. Though, as free people, you get to choose for yourself.
He just watches, the older members of the group to see what they do.
I'm named
You know what?
Charlotte.
From what Magnus has been telling me, you all have gotten into the habit of buddying up with strangers that you meet down here out of nowhere. So, hey, what's good for Magnus is good for me. I'm sure.
Yeah.
I'm sure he'd like to meet you. You seem like the kind of guy he'd like to meet.
Derek, I places a hand on Gloopert's. I'm failing your name.
No,
Shoulder.
you're not. Every time you get it wrong, you get it more right.
Places his shoulder and says, "Yes, we trust until given reason not to."
Yeah.
Well, then let's. The feeling is mutual.
You're probably like quoting some obscure scripture when you said that. Like that's probably like one of those like things, from yeah. Because then like Lurpert's like, oh, okay.
Take it as like mantra.
Yeah.
Well, we were gonna head over to a little section of the dungeon that we haven't checked out yet.
Tell me more.
All right. Well, let's walk and talk, because
Sure.
it wasn't no offense or nothing, but it was a bit of a hike to get here. So it's gonna be a bit of a hike.
I'm sure it was, and I guess I will observe every footstep.
Yeah, what do you do anyway?
I range far across the land and to lands far away. I come here every few summers to try to carve out a little bit of like a small portion of sanity for the sake of the light, and was shocked to return here and see the surface in a much more orderly state than I had seen in previous years. So I sought out who was responsible and was pointed towards a land of Kayden's rest, and I worked through a few intermediaries trying to encounter the brave men who have accomplished this feat and grant them my service, you might say.
Yeah. Yeah,
You-
they really like order over there.
You speak of the light. I read your letter. What are you? Some kind of? Are you an angel? What are you?
Oh, he
Clergy.
runs a hand through his hair in such a way that sort of makes his shape flicker in the torch in the lantern light, and he kind of like nervously taps his fingers together, like, how do I put this? And then he just like, okay, don't freak out. And then he drops the illusion and just unfurls into this coiled feathered snake figure, and he says,
Whoa.
I'm called a Coatl.
Glorpert drops to his knees, and it's like that meme of
No,
that
it's
guy,
okay, it's okay.
where he's just like, and he's like, my lord, and he bows.
No.
Oh,
don't
it's okay.
don't do
I'm
that.
not a lord. I don't have holdings.
So is that what you're going to do when it comes to a fight? I was going to ask you, you carving out places for the light. You got a sword to do it?
I do things of a serpentine nature, you might say. Perhaps
Yeah.
a demonstration might be better, but I can handle myself in a fight. I can move quickly when I need to, and I have some limited magical gifts.
Well,
And
those will come in right handy.
I'd like to talk up my ability to see in the dark, but frankly, this area is too dark for that to work properly. If there was some moonlight, I'd really be able to impress you, I promise. But this place is too goddamn dark.
So you can see in the dark, except when it's dark.
I can see in I can see in like normal darkness, but this darkness is leaving me a little bit at a disadvantage.
They're having this really mundane conversation while this like celestial being is like,
Yeah.
glowing magic rays or whatever.
I'm not sure if I glow. I don't think I do.
Yeah, unfortunately, he does not glow. Though he in
I am
Gloopert's vision, I'm
iridescent.
sure.
Though. I am majestic. Like
In Gloopert vision, I'm sure he is radiant.
Yeah.
like there is like multicolored feathers here. There's just this sort of like snake. There's like a snake-like face that has sort of been like recast in such a way that it is expressive. Its mouth moves. Its lips articulate in order to easily and effortlessly speak the human language. It's a very unnatural. It's an unnatural but not chaotic being, which is an unusual presence. It speaks with a very casual air.
Glorpert gets up, wipes the tears from his eyes. He's still sobbing. And he turns back to everyone else and he says, this is obviously a gift that has been given to us for our righteousness, obviously. So,
Yeah.
we should, I think we should name this group, out of character also, I think we should name the group. Like, because I don't think we're the Hounds of the Pine. That doesn't make any sense anymore. I was going to recommend something like Kayden's Fist or something. I don't know.
Huh.
The Hammer of Kayden, or I guess he had he had
He
a
was
mace.
he was a hammer guy.
He was a hammer guy.
I never knew him. I can't speak for it. Also, I've never really fully grasped all of the hand-based metaphors that humans are into because I don't have those. Nothing but respect, though. Nothing but respect.
It's very convenient, I'm sure.
Glorpert
Yes.
seems completely oblivious of this otherwise completely down to earth talk from this
Alright, well,
being.
what about Kayden's hand then?
Kayden's hand.
Huh.
It sounds kind of sinister, but that's actually kind of.
Yeah, it does, doesn't it?
Yeah.
So it's
Well,
a,
it
take it.
should. You want people to love
so
us from afar.
sinister. So it's like its right hand.
It's it implies purpose, it implies action. I dig it.
Right.
I appreciate that. I know you types are also very keen on swords. Is that a good suggestion?
Swords are great.
Yeah.
Quite fond of mine.
Just
I
yesterday,
like fangs, but
I
it's
ran
not
through
really
an
your
undead
thing.
fiend with a bastard sword. I
Yeah.
love this. I love this little guy right here.
Darius'
Nor-
eyes have not left the quaddle. He's just like amazed at it, but also
Yeah.
like
I'm sorry if
trying
my
to be
manner of
like
speaking is not as alien as preferred. I was in fact told to speak human by a human, so that's just how I do it.
that's quite convenient. Just never encountered a creature as you, and you
Yeah.
serve the light.
I
It's
try
better
to.
than the last feathered magical creature you had an encounter with. Imagine that might be there might be some
Yeah.
lingering anxiety there.
Yeah.
I speak another human language. I speak two other human languages, but they're far away. Don't worry about it. It's not going to be very useful here.
Perderia is kind of a
It was in
test.
Vinland.
Will
Do you know what that
say
is?
something in
Never mind.
where?
Huh?
Where?
Oh, Vinland.
That no.
Does that mean anything? Don't worry about it.
But Perderia will say something in he'll just say like a common prayer in like liturgic
Mm.
to see if
Hmm.
this serpentine ally can understand it.
I
So,
don't think that's in my list of known languages.
if
so to
you're
clarify,
lawful,
yeah,
Oh.
that was an overlook. So
Oh, okay.
liturgic is the language of the light and
Mhm.
lawful entities. It is
There might be.
probably something you know a bit of, though it's
Mhm.
not your native language.
Yes.
You could muddle through it.
I'm also like, oh, see, I'm just trying, kind of hitting the ground running with the knowledge that like like being one of the serpent races does kind of make him sort of an ancient enemy of these isles. But I figure there's like a whole backstory there that we're gonna have to hammer out soon.
Yeah, we'll come back to that one.
Yes.
All right. So do we make it? How many days? We got another day and a
Descendant
half
of-
or so.
Presumably a descendant of serpents that betrayed their own people in the name of Saint Patrick.
How many hit die do you need, or health do you need, Ross?
I am up to 10. I need 4.
I'll cast another spell of healing on you
Oh,
the
nice.
next day.
So the question
Another 2.
Nice. Awesome.
the question you now face is which path you wish to take to the northwest, because there are two. You can return to the last one in and see if you can pick up another higher on the way, and then go northwest from there. Or you've done this before. You can proceed further to the east, and then you will eventually reach an intersection from which you can go north, and that will be slightly faster than the other path, but it will not take you past the last one in.
Let's do that one.
All right.
All right. And Celia, I'm just noting in my character sheet that I do speak liturgic, or is it more that like, can you say the words?
I don't think you have many opportunities to speak it, but yeah, you
Okay.
speak it. But you speak
Okay.
it. Okay. Right. Sure. 1 second. Terminal.
I'm fortunate that you boys showed up when you did, because I don't actually know how to navigate my way out of here except back where I came from, which is a whole thing.
Well,
we only know
hopefully
because
we
of the
don't
map.
get lost this time.
Oh, gracious.
Richard, for additional languages, how do you do it? Do you pick a monster language and a world language, or like is it like a slot that you leave open you can learn one?
I like to leave it as a slot. I like to leave it as a slot you can leave open for later use. So if you're not sure what to do with it, you can leave it hanging, as it were.
Okay.
Also, the way that we've worked out the way that we've worked out that a coatl moves is that based off of a lot of the art that just shows it sort of like floating in space, then we think that when it's relatively slow or motionless, it can just kind of hover. But when it has to move at like a proper pace, it's got to slither along. But when it goes, it can also go into like a gallop, which is like proper flight. Does that make sense?
I dig it. Kind of like surreal suspension kind
Yeah.
of thing. Yeah.
It's a snake that wasn't cursed to slither on its belly at all times, so to speak.
Kind of squeezing all these guys into the map.
Right, the map.
And one sec. Bye-bye. And here we are.
Oh.
You travel for another day and reach once again the gates of gloom. Let's get a little music.
We can.
All I can
just
see is just
blackness.
Glorpert and then infinite blackness.
Oh yeah, that would do it. Hang on a second. One of you guys needs to have
Shoot.
a source of light.
I
All of
I
us
had
would-
passed. Yeah, I had passed before on the continual light, but at this point, would it be fair to say that I've got a
Yes.
lantern with a continual light casted in?
Yes.
Quite like the lantern idea.
Indeed. It's a very convenient thing to have.
Oh, this place.
Yes. There is, as ever, the gate to the west. This is for Monacan, this is the first time here. As for, I think almost everyone here, the only person who's been here before is AJ. Perdari's been here before, right?
To here? I don't think so. No, I think this must have been before his time.
In fact, in that case, yeah, you guys are operating entirely off of maps which have been passed down to you by, God, what's his name? What was Jay's old character?
Flanagan.
Yes, the maps made by Flanagan. So this is a new experience for you. What do you see?
I have the map up, Monacan. I think if we just hug to the north and then go northwest along the water, and then we'll be exploring after that point.
I like it.
You pass by the Great Gates and go north farther into the water. Let's see how that goes for you. How far is the journey? If I remember correctly, it's quite far.
I have never been. I don't think any of us ever been beyond this knee-deep water to the northwest, so you'll have to describe it so we can map it.
I will in a moment. Just gotta make sure I get all this. So it's the knee-deep water to the northwest. It's a long, meandering corridor. You've been here before, not literally, but in spirit. You've walked down these dark roads carved by water over millennia before. Till your belly is cold, everyone else your feet are wet. This place is long and lightless and slow, and every surface is dotted by colorful funguses, blooming and thriving along unknown nutriment. This is not a natural place. You are not in a natural world. You are passing through a long, lightless corridor, up river, walking and walking and walking. And as you go, you are interrupted in your sojourns by creatures coming from the distance. You hear them before you see them, for they carry no light with them. You hear their gibbering and chattering, a familiar sound for those of you who have been questing in the northwest, in the great cavern, the sound of small underworld creatures, things that walk like men do, that seem like men do, but kill with a casualness that escapes all but the hardest of men. Goblins.
I turn to Glockdal and I say, Galacto, if you wish to not perish with us here, we require your sight. We cannot allow them to get the drop on us.
Do you shutter your lanterns to conceal your presence? Because
I don't have a lantern lit, so I don't know who had
well,
the
not you
lantern.
specifically, but do you guys who have? I assume most of you guys at this point have access to
Yeah.
powerful lanterns.
How many
But-
are there?
How many critters are ahead of you?
Gibbering voices do we hear? Yeah.
Give me a hear sounds. Succeed, and you'll get really good information. Fail, and you'll get. You
That
believe
looks
there
like a
are.
success.
You turn your ear to you listen. Everyone else shuts up for a second. I believe there are 11 goblins approaching.
Let's line up. Do them in.
I would prefer we face them in the light.
Agreed.
1 sec. Gonna get clever again.
More can create some light.
Don't worry. You guys all have. That's true. You can. You can cast a flashbang. I'd forgotten about that for a moment. 1 sec. Da-da. Trying to keep track of all these little guys.
Yes.
And now.
I think, of course, no offense to our messenger friend who has proven nothing but trustworthy, but we should not rely solely on his senses.
Are you not appearing? Trying to get this goblin to appear on the map, but is staunchly refusing to do so. Gonna F5 real fast. Oh, roll 20. You silly boy.
I'm determined to sort out one pronunciation for my character soon, because I don't want to step on Glorpert's toes. But yeah, we basically like picked a name that looked good, and then like a couple right before the game started, and then realized like, wait a minute, we don't know how to pronounce this.
Okay, so I'm not going to turn out the lights on your characters right now because that would make your lives so much harder than it needs to be. But bearing in mind your current situation. Da-da. Okay, that works. Can you guys all see the map? Did you see the little sketch I've done? Corridor, water in the middle.
Yes.
Yes.
All right. There's a large mob of goblins. I assume you're shuttering your lanterns and are going to try and get the drop on them.
Oh, I thought we agreed we weren't going to do that.
No,
Oh,
yeah,
oh.
let's find the
let's just-
light here.
Okay.
Yeah, like I said, we don't want to rely solely on one person who can see in the dark,
All right.
even though we trust him. Like he's proven himself pretty trustworthy.
Yes.
I tell
I
him
didn't
that,
say
and I'm
anything.
like, I trust you, Galacto. I trust you. I don't, though. I don't actually.
I don't know, he's been pretty trustworthy so
I
far. I
mean,
just think we shouldn't.
out
have
of
just one-
character, I totally agree. He's actually been like totally trustworthy. This dude like Synth brought that message and everything. So
A weird, horrible little guy.
I don't have access to my character token. Like I can't move it around yet.
All right. you should be. Hang on a second, let me fix that. Da-da. Yeah, it's because it represents a generic token. I'll fix that in a minute. Duh. There you go. Try now.
Yay.
Success. All right. So you have your light. They're not going to be surprised. And you heard them coming. You're not going to be surprised. So, and as they approach and they get a good look at you, they grin with a lot of teeth in that way that you've seen goblins grin before. Start egging each other on, start moving closer, start pulling out knives. They start running at you with way too much enthusiasm. Roll initiative, if you would, and I will turn the combat music on and hopefully make it loop.
Not good.
That's very sad. For you!
My gosh, Galocdul is a Zorn? That's awesome. I love Zorns.
He's not a
Yeah.
Zorn. That was just the closest picture.
Oh.
I was
Sorry.
wondering. I saw the picture too, and I had the same reaction. I was like, "Oh, that's dope."
Yeah.
would be
And when I hover my mouse over it, it says his AC is 21.
That's because that's Zorns are nigh invulnerable.
Okay.
Yeah.
Very expensive to feed.
Very expensive to feed. You can't afford it.
Yeah.
Okay,
So
so,
go ahead.
okay. So these guys are coming at you. What is goblin movement speed?
Not fast enough.
True. Just fast enough, actually, to get in a little trouble.
One of these days, they're gonna bring Big Brother in here with them, because we just keep like ruining their civilization.
Civilization is kind of putting it strong.
That's charitable.
Wow, rude.
I've put a lot of thought into this whole thing that the goblins have going on, and let me tell you, I'm looking forward to opportunities to share that information with you guys.
Oh yeah, get them nice and close.
Yes, they sprint into battle, frenzied and eager. However,
Just splashing through the water.
those of you who have nameplate,
Hey.
those of you who wish to attempt to make ranged attacks as they approach may make one.
Moore is going to prepare light.
Okay.
Is this ranged attack? I can't remember. I'm sorry. Is this separate from the rest of the round, or is it part of the current round?
It's part of the current round. If you want to, unless you are holding a thrown ranged weapon in one hand and a melee weapon in the other, you cannot make both a ranged attack and a melee attack in the same round.
Well, Monacan already made his. It looks like I hit for 5.
Oh, that's one less goblin. He dies somewhere over here.
Bowman will sling. Does a 12 hit? What was their AC?
Their AC is 13. They've got tough skin and gambesons. It ricochets off their head. It doesn't even slow down.
Bonk. All right.
Boing. It's like throwing a rock at a boar. It doesn't really notice. All right. They are going to take their
That's it.
melee. All right. In that case, it is time for them to make their melee attacks. There are 7 of them that are in close enough to attack with their short swords. The others are lingering behind.
Praderi clashes his sword against his shield, ready himself and everyone for battle.
Glorpert joins in on that.
Okay. So these attacks are going to be divided between Pasling, Praderi, and Glorpert. So here are the first 3 against here's the first 2 against Pasling. And what's Pasling's AC?
Pasling has an AC of
17.
17.
It pops up right on her token.
Yeah.
My plan ahead finally pays off. Then 3 attacks versus Praderi.
All bad.
those- Very bad. And then 2 attacks versus Glorpert. Glorpert, you get shanked again.
Oof.
You're having a terrible time down here.
Oh, he's loving it.
Yes.
For the
What's
light.
his HP looking like?
We'll come back to that. So this horrible creature, big bulging eyes, like eyes way too big for its head, huge, a little mouth full of pointy teeth, lips pulled back in a wild snarl, and a cheap piece of pitted steel, which has been clearly sharpened by hand against a stone, like for long, long hours, finally finds its purpose as he jams it right into your leg and starts twisting twisting like an auger, cackling all the while. For 3 points of damage. It is time for your horrible revenge. They do have 1 hit die.
A
I know you're so happy.
fighter's gonna fighter.
Glorpert, you go first since you got stabbed and you deserve to get revenge.
I also want to read this verbatim.
Uh-oh.
Against creatures with 1 8-sided hit die or less, a fighter makes 1 attack per level each round.
Yeah.
That does not say 1 monster.
Yeah, you can just
What
write
attack?
it out however, or concentrate it however.
So again, against creatures, 1 number of attacks per level each round.
Correct. If a first level, normal person goes into battle with a 9th level fighter, and the 9th level fighter misses his first attack, that normal person should not count themselves safe until they have missed the subsequent 8 attacks.
Yep. And then, okay, actually, interestingly, if I read that very literally, that means you could only do one monster, though, which means we've been doing it wrong.
I don't follow.
How would that only mean 1?
Because I only get 1 attack. So it says against creatures with 1 hit die or less, a fighter makes 1 attack per level each round. So you only get 1 attack for 1 creature, and then you can attack that creature the number of attacks per level per round. If I were to read that really literally. We've been doing it as a cleave, but it's against 1 creature.
You could also read it as creatures. It's against creatures.
I've read enough chain. I've read
I'm
enough
sorry,
of the original
that's true, it
chain
does
mail to
say
know that's
yes.
not how it's intended.
I agree. Anyways, here it goes. Okay.
Smack him around, Nappa.
All right. Well, it doesn't matter because
Wait.
what did I even say all that?
Okay.
All right, Praderi.
How many of them are in range of Praderi?
5.
Okay. He'll start from the lowest ones down like Glorpert. Nope.
Nice.
Yep.
Okay.
Nice.
Yep.
Kill, injure,
And that finish him
kill.
off. And then for Pasling with her. Wait, hang on. I rolled 4. Ignore that last one. I'm still level 3.
Oh, that's true.
So Pasling is going to attack. It's going to say Buster. Or no, I already made her thing. I'm going to use her thing. She is level 4, and she has a pole arm, and she's in the front rank. So
That's a kill. That's a whiff.
and
That's a kill.
behind her is Nisel, who he has a spear, so there's still 1 person in range of him, right?
Okay. Yes. Niesel can peel them off with Glorpert.
And he is level 2 or 3. He is level 3.
That goblin that was drilling into Glorpert's leg dies happy as a goblin should, as it is slain in the middle of drilling a guy.
Oh.
Phrasing. Okay.
I was saying the token got large. I was like, oh no.
Yeah.
Now, Noam and Frumgag each also should get some attacks here.
Yes.
I don't know if they can reach anybody else, but they should at least be able to reach this dude. Oh, he's dead. Never
Yes, I'm
mind.
afraid.
Naom has a polearm. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, but he'd have to reach across, like, I don't know if it goes 20 feet out.
You can sort of shove guys out of the way a bit.
All right.
Yeah, there's no reason we couldn't have, with a polearm, had it. All of them, actually, because they can fit 3 to a grid.
Well, let's
All
go
right.
ahead and see Naum's
Nice.
attacks. This truly is the fighter hour.
That's
Yes,
a
yes.
miss,
Thank you, test pattern. I just saw the thing you linked.
and a miss, and then Frangag.
Their AC is 13, so Frangag might hit anyway.
That's a hit, a miss, and a hit for 9 and 6.
Alrighty. You're experiencing a tremendous shortage of goblins.
It's a target poor environment now.
It's true. Alrighty. Who else is closing to melee?
Well, is it the
I
next
think
round?
that's everyone.
Yeah.
I think that's everyone. Spells.
Lights.
Yes. Who's getting lit up?
Let's get the guy in the back.
Second. This guy is now.
I could just rush him, possibly.
Where is the can't see token? There we are. And more importantly, how do I make him glow like the Dickens?
You could strip like a torch on him or something. Oh, there you go.
It gives an unearthly little shriek and starts and panics completely, sprinting wildly and ricocheting off the walls as it begins to retreat. Bonk. Bonk. Now there is only one of them remaining, so I will roll. They're saving. Oh, actually no. The Charlotten, you wanted to do something? Or Sullivan?
I'm making. There's like 5 different ways that we could pronounce that, and I'm making the executive decision to pronounce the X as an S.
Sullivan.
So it's Soliton. Soliton. Yeah, that we go.
All right. What are you going to do to this last?
I'm gonna
wicked little
fucking.
goblin?
I'm gonna fucking. Soliton will flare his wings out and just fucking rush him, and then just try to just rush right over the crowd, swoop right down, and try to wrestle him to death.
Roll to hit.
Okay, so the bite is that, but the constriction is a different attack entirely.
Roll
Shit,
1d20. Roll 1d20 plus your hit dice in order to like actually hit the guy.
Okay.
Okay.
Oof, that didn't work.
Alas, you plow right into him, and he is on slippery stone. So rather than being able to hold his position so you can coil around him, he sort of slides away.
Just slides out of the way, and I just fucking splash into the water and just sort of accordion.
A little bit.
Just completely embarrassing myself in front of the boys.
Oh no! All right. So I'm now going to roll a morale check, in secret for a change. We'll see how that goes. I can't remember how morale works. I should have checked if I was supposed to roll high or low first.
2d6 to see if it meets if it
Meets or beats
goes
morale? Or
over
below
6,
morale?
I think, or over 7 for a goblin, something like that. If you roll 2d6 and get 7 or higher.
They bounce it? Well, I rolled a 10. So the final goblin has decided that it is afraid of gigantic snakes and horrible men with infinite supply of swords, and it attempts to run heedlessly into the distance. Praderi and Charlotten both get a attack of opportunity against it.
Big money, no enemies.
That'll do it. Why can I not get this combat thing to loop properly? Whatever. Here we are. No, that's the wrong one. There's 2 colors for the loop button, gray and other gray, and I don't know which one means I'm going to loop or not.
Gray and other.
I mean, it's gray and a very slightly darker gray. Got nothing here. Anyway, so you've got 11 dead goblins. What are you going to do with them?
Loot 'em.
You plunder their tiny bodies. What sort of treats do you find?
The other goblin that's lit up would
Oh yeah,
could do we want to slay it or do we want to charm it?
that would be up to more.
I'm asking the group, like, do we just slay it outright?
The problem with
Yes.
charming these things is no one speaks their language, and they
Yeah.
and they make noise.
Yeah.
So they
Okay.
end up causing
That-
problems every
yeah.
time we try to do it.
More
Only
politely
Only
declines.
someone here spoke Goblin.
More
I
politely
know no such
declines.
thing.
More politely declines on the grounds that these little guys are horrible idiots, and frankly, the last time he had a charmed goblin, he was pretty sure it kept trying to, it wouldn't stop trying to show off its knife collection and its thumb collection, and he's decided that he doesn't want to deal with them anymore. More practices throwing darts at it, and then he realizes that feels bad. Then he asks someone else to kill it.
I've been
Monocton
waiting to
makes
break
this
out the
easy
darts.
for everybody.
Dab.
Yeah.
All right.
You
So
good
he-
people.
Can go
sometimes.
fast. Okay, I'm not gonna. Yeah.
It was less than opportunity for redemption and more an opportunity for utility.
Mm-hmm. Among the bodies, you find 38 archaic silver pieces. They're golden coin. They are silver coins. They are of not of human make. They're clearly of goblin make. They are of surprisingly high quality. On one face, what is the description I had for these? I wrote this up at some point. You find on one face of the coin there is a very clear rendition of a goblin's head in profile. It's the same across all the coins. It's clearly a specific goblin, perhaps a important ruling figure, or some kind of, religious icon. It's hard to be sure. On the opposite side, equally consistently, is a crude scrawl of a man being stabbed in the neck.
Oh no.
Still, that's 38 silver pieces worth of silver, so there you go. They also have equipment, which is universally worthless.
Look at this
Except-
pig iron.
It's good
Well-
for stabbing people in the leg, though.
It is useful as pig iron, potentially, though that's not quite worth hauling it out of the pit. But it is useful, and this is key, as fuel. So you can make a fire tonight and be warm.
Nice.
The only person who got hit that fight was
Lorpert.
Lorpert,
Again.
right?
Or Glorper.
Again.
You have 2 more days of travel before you make it to. Sorry, you have 1 more day of travel before you make it there, so you can cast another healing spell on him on the way.
I shall
Nice.
have another 2. Oh wow, he's gonna stick with detect evil. This is not his jam. The light has not blessed him with healing power.
He's doing his best. All right, now. Da 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 da. Here we are.
So, how far have we gone?
You have gone. You travel 20 miles north from the gates of darkness. Pass up a river where you encounter the goblins, and you go north until finally the corridor opens up into. You start to hear echoes. And let me make. Is anyone emitting light? No, let me fix that. Why did that not work? Your journey through the caverns finally leads you to a new place. This area seems... You can see here? Focus thing, here we are. Describe this area a bit. You're in the... Okay, so that wasn't the loop. There we are. After a long journey underground, you reach a larger cavern. Extends to the limit of your vision. Easily over 100 feet deep. It's a natural limestone cavern. The ceiling begins to grow craggly with stalactites, and the ground sprouting stalagmites. You have to be careful with your footing here. The pools are much deeper. The sound of dripping water is everywhere here. Let me see. If we have dripping water in here somewhere? That's snow, winter. No, I don't. Drops of water fall constantly from the ceiling of this cavern. This place seems different. Check your maps. Is it familiar to you?
No.
Yes. Trying map of yes.
I don't recognize all of these water patterns on the ground. Maybe I wasn't here.
I mean, I can obviously I remember. Sorry, up here. Right, and then yeah. The yeah. So like, look, these pools. That one, and then there's a deeper one. And actually, you know what this reminds me of? This is why, when I think about this battle map for it, it actually reminds me of that dungeon you made, Father Chris, with the alchemy pools. Because there's just like a bunch of pools in the cave, and this is where the stuff was dripping from the ceiling. Do you remember the things hanging from the... You might be the only person left in here that remembers that, other than, of course, Richard.
It's not coming to mind.
Yeah, there were.
That
That was the place where Chris's character climbed up the 40-foot tall statue on the other side and got in the bowl and barely made it out and got the treasure. And then you guys came down here and the thing fell from the ceiling. And I can't remember if you killed it or avoided it or what, but yeah.
Okay.
So from here, if we go here, we will keep exploring, which we have, 15, 20 minutes.
I didn't see where you were pointing. Okay.
The
so
northwest.
Northeast.
Northeast. I did it again.
It's all right.
Okay.
My pedantry knows no bounds, so I will always correct.
You travel to the northeast. As you do, a stalagmite falls from the ceiling behind you and kerplunks into the water.
Was that something to be concerned about?
Yeah, it could have killed one of us. If it hits you in the head, have an eye out.
I'm gonna hold the lantern up and shine it at the ceiling.
The ceiling is just stalactites. Your eyes peruse over it. Nothing. Looks harmless. Everything looks fine. No big deal. You got places to be.
We move on.
Onward you go. The journey twists and turns. In time, you are taken to a new location. You travel for a full day.
Full day, so 9 miles.
Yes. Been here last with Cameron. Well, if you guys are jumbo size in here. Shrinky dink you. I'm gonna use Monacan as a stand-in for the party in general because if I try and shrink eating all of you, it'll take forever. Cladding, bright light, 30 feet, 90 feet. You find yourselves on the precipice of a truly bizarre sight. The walls of it is a vast natural cavern, one which extends to the limits of your sight. Yes. It's a vast natural cavern which extends to the limits of your sight. Is this thing not? Yeah, we're good. Every surface of it is carved with strange symbols, ones which you recognize as a really ancient form of English, one of the oldest tongues of the Isles. This place gives you a strange feeling. Why is only something is up? On. Settings. On. Does this not have vision? Oh, that'll do it. There we are. This place extends deep forward, but it feels larger than it actually. But it feels like is larger than it should be. There's a sense on the edge of this cavern that the interior is larger than the perimeter implies. There's a sense that if you step into it, you might not be able to navigate it the way you would navigate a normal space. It's hard to. It feels like there's more space between the walls that you can see and should be able to fit. A faint sense of the way that light is bending here.
Would it remind me of a Fey road?
No, those operate on different principles.
Ooh, well, that still seems important information if you share that with us, because that only leaves one other option.
All right, I would pontificate this aloud. Like, almost reminds me of a Fey road, but it feels different. I don't think I've seen anything quite like this, at least not in a long time.
The work of
We should
devils.
stick together. Perhaps.
Well,
And the lighting in there is bright. Am I reading this right?
Yes, the walls are luminous with these runes.
I can attempt to read them.
Yeah, does anyone speak the language the runes are in?
You said
I don't
English.
believe so.
Oh.
It's a very ancient dialect of English.
I do. You did. Okay, so you. I do have a small selection of spells, which Ruse rolled randomly, and one of them ended up being read languages. So perhaps I could give that a shot.
Whoa.
I forgot that.
If there's a good excuse, if there's an excuse not to, now's a good time to start devising it. Okay.
No, this is good.
All right, I will slither my way forwards and kind of snake my way inside, cautious always of these spatial elements, which might mean that an ambush could be hiding in plain sight, and I will cast that spell on myself and attempt to start reading some of these runes.
You guys watch the serpent figure twist through the air and turn its gaze across the runes, and determines quickly that this is the same sentence spoken many, many times. Namely, may this maze forever mire those evil powers which seek to escape. May this maze forever mire those evil powers which seek to escape. Over and over and over again.
I just read this aloud so you get the sense of the repetition there. Sort of like sounding it all out.
As he follows the runes scribed across the floor, he finds that the sentence twists and entangles upon itself with its neighbors, such that it's the same word is preceded. Sorry, that the same rune is followed by two neighboring runes, and so on and so on, so that the same sentence seems to stretch in a fractal throughout this entire space.
Soliton like stretches himself like out there to keep reading, but he keeps his tail close to where someone could grab it and pull him back in like a rope.
I hand him a rope.
Oh, that's a good idea too. Tie it to the end of my tail.
All right.
Should we bring the? Would it be wise to bring
Soliton
your?
is like just sort of casually telekinetic, by the way. Like nothing fancy, but that's just a feature that Coatls have that we noticed.
Think of him as having a small, weak child who follows him around and holds
Come
things
on.
for him.
That's like the least cool way you could have put it.
I know, that was on purpose. I don't want you to get too cool.
Okay, we've
Okay.
got, I already we got questions.
I got a
Well,
quick
as
one
soon-
as well.
As soon
You go first.
as soon as Monacan hears what the sentence says, he like stops short and like takes a couple of steps back from the threshold of this place. Sorry, I interrupted you with your question.
I too am very cautious of this.
Okay.
It may not only work against evil powers.
Should Glorpert, should your companion here follow us if we intend to journey within?
I'm sorry. Yeah, I mean, I think he doesn't seem too bad so far. I guess maybe something could possess him, but then again, it could possess one of us. I'm okay with it.
Well,
I
assume the-
I'm more concerned about the and like what they're saying, the general sense that this is a maze. Okay, so we already know that. So the question is, are we crossing the threshold of that maze right now, and I'm wondering about what's on this wall. Is the film of ice thin? Does it look like we can see an opaqueness, or is it like solid? Or yeah, is there anything on the ground? What does it look like up above?
Details afoot.
Yes.
So, as you examine the surroundings, here's what you determine. It's not a layer of ice, but rather a thin layer of crystal, like quartz. The ceiling does not appear to have any. It has some stalactites, but they all seem, firmly rooted in place. And the more you look at it, the more you realize that there are more stalactites and more ceiling than should make sense. It is hard for you. There's a sense that the deeper into the cavern you look, the more spacious it becomes, as though the act of observing it is causing it to unfold deeper into itself. Like it's a bag that you're opening and opening and opening and opening and finding more and more bag inside.
Okay, so the whole place is a maze. Okay. Well, that's tough.
I avert my gaze to make it do that less.
That's a conundrum. There could be
Conversely,
great treasure,
There could
but
be.
also
There could be
It could be
treasure,
tr-
but there's certainly an evil inside. Or unless it has already escaped, which is also bad.
What if we drew lots, and by draw lots I pick Glorpert, is what I mean, and we just like send someone in with a rope, and if they start to get lost in this, so hopefully it's an illusion, unless the rope gets snapped, and then we lose Glorpert, and then you all just leave. And if Glorpert starts to lose his head, then you can pull him out. And if it's fine, then we could figure it out. I don't know. I choose Glorpert.
Dare you venture your glorp? Monacan, are you prepared to wager to weigh Glorpert's life in your hands? Don't answer that. I know the answer is yes.
Yeah.
Just tie 2 ropes together at the end in a square knot, and then just, tie it around his waist, and then you got 2 lengths. And you guys hang on. Don't look at the stuff, and don't enter.
Okay. How will we know to pull him back?
Well, here's what happens. Glorpert starts walking into the cavern and just walks about 100 feet. No problem. And from your perspective, he makes it to about here. And as he gets to about here, he sort of recedes into the distance without moving completely. It's like he is going farther away than the cavern should be able to hold. And then he
Like-
reaches.
Good Glorpert, what do you see?
What Glorpert sees is that the party looks like they are much farther than 100 feet away, but the rope is connected to them. Also, from this position, he can no longer clearly see the walls of the cavern at all. He is instead in the midst of an enormous, expansive, glowing white, empty plain, with, in the far distance, vague, glimmering shapes, with a
So-
long rope stretching far to the west.
Are the glimmering shapes us, or does he see like something specific in the
No,
distance?
he doesn't see much specific in the distance, but he can see to the west an impossibly long rope stretching out to you guys.
Huh.
Where you are waving like little specks on the horizon.
So when I try to go towards the wall with the runes, I'm unable to get there. I just like enter a kind of endless expanse of Stygia.
Well, yes, but to clarify, every surface, including the ground which you are walking on, and every wall which you can see, is festooned with the runes.
Okay, and I cannot make it to the wall. Like as far as from my perspective, even if I were to try to travel from the entrance at the threshold directly to a wall, it just seems to go on forever.
No, you can do that. When you go back towards the entrance and you take a wall and you follow it, you can, in fact, you can follow it all right. So by that means, by clinging to the wall and looping around it, you are able to go around and around and around and
But
around.
critically, he hasn't run out of rope. It only appears to be spaghettifying.
Yeah, that does
correct.
seem important.
Yeah, if you lay the rope behind you rather than drawing it taut, you can get about here.
I can't see where they. Hang on.
Sorry, right? I'm realizing that I can't.
Yeah, I
like,
don't have
show
vision.
You it doesn't update unless I stop it. But basically, you can follow the. If you follow the left wall, you can follow it comfortably for about 100 feet, and then once you start trying to pull the cord taut,
Should we move Glorpert into the middle of the room to get vision on it? I don't have vision on it.
once you get.
Hey.
Yeah, there you go. Sorry, I was just using Monacan. But yeah, once Glorpert is there, he has reached the end of the rope. Do you want to continue pulling the rope taut across?
How many ropes do we have?
You've got a few. Which of these guys have miscellaneous equipment? 4 of your retainers have miscellaneous equipment, so they should. That's at least 5 ropes.
Let's keep going if you are willing.
Yeah.
Okay.
I'll tie one around Perderi's waist, and he'll go in and be like a link in the chain.
Oh, nice.
Okay.
Should he use me? I'm long. Well, I'm not that long.
Is your read language still active? How long does it last?
That would be.
Ooh,
That's a
let
good
me check
point.
how long that does last.
Good question.
It's like it's.
Oh,
not
it says
anything-
1 or 2 readings.
Yeah, 1 or
Oh.
2 readings.
But I don't know how long a reading is. Is that like a letter, a book? I don't know.
Can't filibuster the magic, okay?
It
Magical filibuster. I'm just
You
gonna
can
keep
keep
reading then.
I can filibuster the magic.
Sleep.
you can read it okay.
Throwing the foreign texts in front of his face.
Well, if nothing else, we should at least have a sense of what that sentence looks like since we've seen it 1,000 times. So if it's something else, we would know what that is.
So here's what I want to have happen. Perderi, I want you to roll a saving throw.
Oh jeez.
Don't worry. This isn't quite as horrifying as you might think.
Success.
Okay. As you navigate your way around the passage, eventually the motion of the rope begins to draw it away from the wall. As that happens, it rapidly draws taut between you and between Perderi and Ross, and then snaps completely taut, and both of you guys are forced to cling hard to the wall as it attempts to as the rope seems to fall into a space which is much larger than it has the length to span, till eventually it snaps in the middle.
Oh
To be
gosh.
clear, from this
Uh-oh.
position, Glorpert cannot see the areas to the south. What's the word I'm looking for? He cannot see the areas to the southwest of him. And now Praderi is here with a snapped rope and cannot clearly see Glorpert
Right.
or basically anything except the wall right next to them.
I don't understand why only Glorpert has vision.
It's just he's probably his token is marked as having vision.
Okay.
Manakin should be marked as having vision. It's possible that your character is not part of your character is also not marked as having vision. I fixed that.
Praderi is going to just stop right away and try calling out. We haven't tried talking in here. He's gonna shout, "Glorpert!
Glorpert
How
hears
hail!"
Glorpert. You can hear his voice coming dimly from your southeast, as though it was just sort of just echoing along the wall.
I
You
yell
must also
back.
be aware that the rope is snapped.
Yes.
So that's got to be a panic-inducing situation.
Yeah, I yell back. The rope is broken.
Follow the sound of my voice, and he's just gonna start saying a prayer out loud.
Do you do so?
Yes. I'm sorry.
Okay,
Yes.
good.
So here's an interesting thing that happens. His voice always seems to be coming from down the wall, regardless of where the wall is. From here, when you stand here, you cannot clearly see this location. When you get back to this location, you cannot clearly see this location. The space between them is too great, but as long as you stay close to the wall, you can circumnavigate until eventually you've reached Praderi again.
How is my rate and time, and by my own perception? Is it similar to traversing kilometers of frozen waste?
No, you're covering you feel like, honestly, as long as you stay right by the wall and you're touching the wall, it doesn't feel like you're going much farther than the map would indicate.
Oh.
That's useful.
I tell
Yes.
Praderi that then. I get back to him and I'm holding the wall and I'm like, so long as we hold the wall, I think it'll be okay.
Do you think we should go back and tell the others? I think this maybe gives us knowledge we can use to continue.
Yes, I think we have to.
Okay. I guess we'll hug the wall and try to make our way back to Manakin and the others.
Clinging to the wall and trying to ignore the endless gulf that yawns to your southeast, you eventually make it back to Manakin, who I assume, Manakin being Manakin, is looking on with a total lack of, excitement at all of this.
I have grave concern on my face.
Well, I mean, we share what we
excitement.
found.
Yeah.
It's just
don't
an
tell
illusion,
us,
my
tell us.
friend. It's an illusion. If we hold the wall, we're able to traverse normally. This is it's just an illusion. Oh, go ahead.
Is it an illusion? Because it seemed the rope snapped.
Yeah, that is
And
weird.
if it was just an
could-
illusion, we would have felt a tug, we would have felt a pull, but you weren't running or anything like that. You had nothing with the power to tear a rope.
Yeah.
It seems as though the dimensions of the room would be normal along its perimeter, but as you move away from the wall, the distance actually does increase.
Yeah.
Well,
But
When we
even
get
with
those,
that being true, I don't
brave-
understand why the rope snapped.
we'll get a couple of y'all brave volunteers. You want to traverse the wall? A little bit
Much
farther.
less confident about extending my full length.
Do we
Come
want to
back.
stay left wall or right wall?
You already explored the left wall to some extent. Let's try the right. That's my vote.
That makes sense.
All right. One moment to make a note.
I'll be right back.
All right.
You took the short straw last time. Praderi will take it this time if you're comfortable with that.
Yeah.
And I guess he'll just kind of. So which rope was it that broke? The rope between Perderi and Glorbert, or the rope
Yes.
between? Okay.
Yeah.
So he'll just let the rope that's tied around his waist kind of trail on the ground as he'll start following the right wall.
All right. He loops around the right wall and rapidly makes it into
What concerns me rather, is the amount of space that could be inside this space. Could be all sorts of creatures in the distance just between this wall and that wall.
Mm-hmm. Does he see that spider web?
yes.
He's gonna turn around.
Okay.
Go right back.
Perderi
Yeah.
returns within 60 seconds.
There's a path just around the bend. I saw a terribly large spider web, and thought it very dire to report such a finding
Did it
to
look
the
fresh?
place where all the rest of you are, in due haste.
Did it look maintained? Did it look fresh?
DM, did it look fresh and maintained?
In your haste to preserve your own life against the risk of a horrendous death like so many you've heard of before, you didn't check closely. You're not certain.
It seemed very fresh. No, he's not a liar. I did not see. I did not think it prudent to dally. But it seems the floor seemed not of the crystal that the rest of this chamber is made of. Seemed like it might have been another passage.
It might be
Or
worth
wait, hang on.
braving in that
We're
case.
standing right next to a spiderweb right now. Perhaps it's part of the bend of that.
Say again?
It looks like there's a spiderweb right here. Is this a side passage?
No, this is just residue.
Okay. So
Krongog pokes it with his spear and it crumbles to ashes.
But yeah, so there's a side passage we may venture through.
I feel less concerned about the spider than I do about the rest of this, so I would be willing to wager my venom against its.
Noted. Don't get bitten.
Go to then, slithery
I'll
beast.
try not to.
Go to, says Frangog.
Very well. Gate around this way.
Frangog aside
the one?
Galocdil. We shan't see him again.
Is
this
anyone
the
else
one?
coming? Yeah.
Probably Frangog after all that.
Yeah, we could probably make it. Like we could.
Yeah, it's
not
not
far
actually.
around
It's
here.
not hard. It's not hard. So the crew proceeds down. Accidentally elongated for Derek. Good news.
We're getting spaghettified.
Not yet. The spiderweb is in fact not maintained, and to your relief, crumbles at just a touch of your spear.
Reassuring.
Do you wish to explore further?
Certainly, I do. It looks like there might be a branch here. Nope, maybe not. Yeah, I guess that's not a branch. Well, only one way to go then.
You continue onward, delving into the deep. Torches, magnificent lantern held aloft.
Got a
In the light of
float
your-
in front of me.
In the light of
What do
your
you mention?
lantern, there are a few mushrooms in the area that seem to fluoresce under its light, taking on a vivid glow, coloring the space with greens and blues and reds. At the far end, you find a dead end, at which lays a single body.
I checked the ceiling.
You check the ceiling. There is no giant spider.
Okay.
Nice.
Does he look like he laid in a natural position, or is he propped up, or?
He is slumped back against the wall, right about here. Looks like he died sitting up. and there is a growth of mold around him at his feet. His corpse is reduced to little more than a skeleton and some very old moldering flesh, and he carries on his person a few links of tattered chainmail and little else.
Coil warily towards.
Would Perderi know anything of like various molds?
Mostly in the sense that you don't want them to get on your wheat. If you're asking if you've heard of the wide variety of instantaneously and comically lethal molds in the monster manual, no. I invite you to go forth and become acquainted. Put it in your mouth. Don't be a coward.
I
Hmm.
hear fire is really good for it.
I mean, I
Certainly
use
good to hear.
the tip of my halberd, and I just like poke to see if there's any pouches or purses or backpacks and inside things.
The carcass topples over.
All right.
You do find a tattered pouch. Do you wish to approach? How will you deal with the?
Sullivan speaks a brief prayer in liturgic.
I'll keep it on the edge of
Man.
my halberd and then like try to slice it open.
Okay.
Yeah, make a sign of the sun.
If the pouch is
tree.
attached
Oh, the
to
tree.
the body, I have a grappling hook.
That is true. Through a combination, through the halberd will work fine. He hooks the pouch and brings it close, and it doesn't unleash a horde of spores. Within the pouch, you find a single gemstone, a glimmering yellow quartz, no larger than a thumb. Mark it down as a 10 GP gem.
Well, we're coming up on the end. We've explored one area, but
Do you
we
want to
could keep
sprint down
going.
another, or
I think we'll.
What do you guys think? I'm down to
Yeah,
try one more. You know.
Monstrous.
We'll try one more, and since we're a little bit more confident, we will
Yeah.
try the larger group of us edging along the wall.
we should take some of the kind of crystal from the cave as well. Maybe Magnus could have use of it.
Wait, you mean the crystal that has all of these etchings in it? Because I'd be careful about damaging it.
Not a piece with the etching, no, but
Hmm.
maybe a piece from the wall.
Is there any like loose that doesn't seem to be part of the casting? 'Cause I would strongly advise against collapsing whatever effect this is.
Yeah.
None is within easy arm's reach of the entrances or the walls.
Hmm.
Do you want to go search a bit in the depths?
No.
Okay.
No.
Just saying, it's an option.
It
We'll
is an
just
option.
continue along the right-hand wall then.
Okay. The whole gang shimmies along the wall for a while, and
I will
eventually
lead the way because I'm the shimmingest.
you are the shimmist. Da 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 ba.
I also can't see.
This is much larger.
Yes. You enter into another chamber. This is Zoltan peers into the right-hand chamber. There is a faint fluttering noise above you, like bats. Then, startled by your light, they rush off through a tiny crack in the ceiling, flutter, leaving nothing behind but the stench of guano.
Ugh.
At last, a real smell.
True.
I will continue moving
let's-
along the wall that we were already moving along.
southwest. Correct. Yeah.
Okay.
I'm blinded.
Oh,
Mer?
did we lose you?
No, but I can't see. Glorp. The token with vision has not turned the corner yet.
Oh, hang on a second. I think they lost vision when I copied and pasted them. No, I still got vision. Still got vision.
No, it was Braderi and Solatan.
This cavern is about 20 feet across. It's nothing too exciting.
Continue along the wall then.
Okay. Now you get to something exciting. Once you step into this wall, you are immediately struck by the you now have access. It looks like you have access to a sample of the same crystal that you've seen to the north, but this is in a much more loose shape. Except it appears to be a single monocrystalline face along the south wall. An immense sheet of absolutely pure, shimmering white crystal. Flat as the sky, flat as the ocean on a calm day, flat as an unmoving lake. Not quite vertical, tilting towards you a little bit, looming over you. And in it, uncountable depths. You feel like you're looking into the uppermost layer of an immeasurably deep pool, clouded over by soft silt. Not as if someone had taken a garden pond and clouded it with silt made from crushed pearls.
Perdarius uncomfortable. This seems too purposeful, too much intent behind the smoothness of the wall.
Can we see our reflections in it at all, or is it just vanish?
Not from here. You'd have to get maybe if you got closer.
What do you think, Banakin?
Doesn't look like treasure to me. Looks like danger.
Where is it located on the map? I don't quite see.
It's this area here.
Hmm?
The map doesn't. The map does not.
Oh.
The map is incorrect in its rendition of a location. It implies
Okay.
that it's pure, jagged crystals all over the place. No.
Oh.
Mirror fine, mirror flat. There are jagged crystals along the edges, but most of it is a single, perfectly flat wall.
Do all the jagged edges seem purposeful and attached to things, or is there anything loose that we could pick up and bring back for analysis?
There's a loose chunk. You could nip forward and grab that.
I didn't quite see where it was, but I'm gonna warily creep forwards and I announce my intentions to the others and say that I'm going to try to scoop one up to examine.
Yeah.
As you do,
Gonna slither up, sneaky slither.
you reach out, you lift up the chunk, and as you glance up, you see a figure looking back at you in the mirror.
I reflexively coil backwards with my tiny treasure.
Okay.
Away from that.
Dimly, you can see it approaching you slowly.
I keep backing up.
We're coming up
You
on
help-
1 minute. Let's run. Let's get out of here.
Okay, I'm just scooting backwards. I'm not sure how quickly I'm allowed to be moving.
I assume you book it. Do you book
Okay.
it?
Yeah, as I get back to the others, I'm like, move back, keep go.
As you turn the corner, and as we enter like cliffhanger, you flee and you take one last look behind you, and you see briefly an image of yourself looking back at you with hollow eyes and hunger, and then sensibly you put distance between you and whatever that is.
Oh, it stole my shape.
No, don't worry, I just borrowed it. It's like downloading a car. With that,
You wouldn't download a car.
I would. With that, you retreat from this strange place.
I download a spaceship.
Download whatever you can give me. You retreat heavily back to the last one in.
Thanks, Richard.
That's what. As ever,
boy.
tremendous pleasure to game with you guys.